So my name's Simon Harrison, and I'm the Digital Learning Director for the Faculty of Engineering. We're quite an old traditional university, but we've been teaching, I've been teaching design here for now 20 years. And I suppose we're just trying to keep our curriculum modern and up to date and putting the latest technology in to make sure our students are ready for the new world they're going to be working in. So we noticed, keeping in touch with kind of our alumni, our recent graduates, that more and more companies in the design field were using VR as part of their everyday design process. The headsets are coming down in price, it's quite affordable, and they're making use of that. And so we knew we needed to teach this. And we've been doing it for about 2 years now, but with a small number of headsets, and still putting students basically through small groups teaching and not giving them a great deal of time to spend in those headsets because we've got to get all the students through. But more than anything, it was the hardest thing I've ever had to teach in my 20 years. When you've got a student wearing a VR headset and you don't know what they're looking at and they're asking you for help and asking you why they can't do something, but you can't see why they can't do it, it's very, very difficult. So we put in a new facility here to try and combat, certainly that problem, along with other things as well. So we have 40 PCs plus the teaching PC. In fact, we have several teaching PCs. We use several because we have one on a mobile device and one fixed. And 40 high-power PCs that the students are effectively, their headsets are tethered to by cable. We use NetSupport really to control those Windows PCs. One, to enable us to run the classroom, to be able to launch applications, close applications, and just help some of the students when they do something wrong. So sometimes it's the operating system that's, I mean not the Windows operating system, but the virtual reality operating system, which is a thing called Steam VR. That might not connect properly, it might not work properly, and we need to manually restart it. And if you can probably see in the video, I don't know, you can see all the PCs are in the ceiling, so we need to be able to access them remotely. They're what's called a headless PC. There are no keyboards or mice or monitors for each PC, so we need to be able to access them, control them independently of the students, as well as letting the students control them. Well, as I was saying earlier, you can't see what the students are seeing traditionally. So it becomes incredibly difficult to teach. And the only way you could have done that with previous technology was to pair each headset with its own TV or screen and watch what was happening on the TV or the screen. When you've got 40 PCs in a room and you don't want to have a room bigger than necessary for that activity, then you've got to avoid having those monitors or those TVs. So NetSupport gave us that solution where we could strip out all that kind of control gear, the monitors, the keyboards and so on, and keep the infrastructure simple, but still allow us to view any desktop and view any PC and view any headset that the students might be using. I expected to have difficulties within about 5 minutes of reading the instructions and pressing go. It was done. It was the easiest thing to set up in this entire room, to be perfectly honest. Everything else gave me far more trouble than NetSupport School. Yeah, so initially we were really just thinking about being able to watch what the students were doing. That's really where we came from. But once we had the software, we realised we could launch applications, kill applications, send them files that they might want to operate, and I think then we started to look at where we could be using this software maybe in future in other areas, online examinations or other classroom controls, etc. So we're using quite a lot of the functionality now in this room, but I think we're starting to see how this software could be used in so many other ways within the university. Just being able to see. It was virtually impossible to teach VR before in the way we had done it. I had to really try and resist the temptation, but I would always end up saying, can you pass me the headset? And I'd have to take it off the student and look through my own eyes what was actually happening. And then I say, oh, you're in the wrong application, or you've got this wrong. And I don't really like to take the headset off somebody. You want to let them be in control of the apparatus. So I always felt uncomfortable doing that. I can now walk alongside them with a mobile, a Windows tablet PC, see what they're seeing on the tablet, and just have a conversation with them and resolve their problems really easily. So it's that communication with students has been wonderful. Huge cost benefits, in terms of cost to the benefit it provides, amazing, really simple to set up, very intuitive interface. It does what it says on the tin. And actually, I suppose the other thing I'd like to say is we have had similar types of this software in the past at university, which I've tried in other rooms, and they've always been really glitchy, and I've had problems connecting, and it's been a poor kind of connection. I've not had that at all with NetSupport. It's been really smooth all the way. When I click a student desktop, it opens and I can see what they're doing straight away. So it's been really reliable. Absolutely, yeah. It has been recommended to me. My wife's a teacher and she's used it for many years, and she said it was as good as they can get in the market, really. And I've had no issues with it at all. And what I would also like to say is the online support I've had afterwards, both either chat support or actually in person on a phone call, has always been super quick and really friendly and helpful. Well, certainly try it, but I think it works really well, and I've had no problems with it. And I think once you start to experiment with it and look at what you can do, maybe it starts to give you other ideas about how you can actually teach, or how other ways you could use this in a classroom or a teaching environment. The reason we chose NetSupport School was really reliability, and actually, in fact, it worked smoothly. I say all the other ones we've tried, we found were very glitchy across our network. They just weren't reliable. I've crashed entire classrooms before now. All 99 PCs crashed simultaneously, blue screened, when that particular bit of software went down. I certainly didn't want that to be happening with this room, and there's nothing close to that. It's worked perfectly every time so far. Helpful.